sekolah kami, Cerdas Bangsa College, kami sudah berdiri sejak tahun 2000 ya, sudah cukup lama. Kepala sekolah kami langsung ada hadir di sini. Namanya kalau nama Indonesianya Maharani, Ibu Maharani PhD ya. Lalu berikutnya susunan acara hari ini seperti ini ya, saya akan perkenalkan lalu apa saja, lalu nanti acara tanya jawab ya. Oke, mari kita mulai. Bagaimana sih kondisi China hari ini gitu ya? Kotanya megah, bagus, metropolitannya besar-besar. Ada suara. Sebentar ya, ini ada masalah dengan suara sebentar ya.
This is your life. This is your life.
Could you find a way to let me down slowly? A little sympathy, I hope you can show me. You've got the word to change a nation, but your body, your tongue. You spent a lifetime stuck in silence, afraid you say something wrong.
Jadi saat ini China sudah sangat modern ya, seperti kita bisa lihat di kota-kota metropolitannya ya. Akhir-akhir ini perkembangan China sangat pesat. Hampir setiap hari kita mendapat berita tentang terobosan ini itu high-tech-nya apanya ya di China ya. Jadi sekarang ini ke awareness ya, awareness orang sekolah ke China semakin tinggi ya. Lalu saya ingin menunjukkan video yang satu lagi ini adalah ingin menunjukkan kepada adik-adik semua, posisi China di dunia ini seperti apa. Barang-barang produksi China itu sudah merasuki seberapa dalam kita sehari-hari. Apakah kita bisa hidup satu hari saja tanpa produk dari China? Ya, coba kita lihat, ini adalah mahasiswa di Amerika, bagaimana dia menerangkan barang yang dia pakai sehari-hari itu terbuat dari negara mana saja. Kita lihat.
My name is Palmer Mendelson. I'm 26-year-old. Take on the challenge today to see what life would be like without any China products. My room. So I'm going to show you my room and everything I use. Got my Echo alarm here. I use this every day. So let's check it out. Let's see if this is made in China. Yes, it is. Assembled in China. And then this lamp. This is my desk lamp. Yeah, it says made in China. Everyone watches TV when they go to bed or... Yeah, this is made in China. Converse. These are made in India. Ultra Boost. Made in China. Nikes. Made in China. DJI Ronin. Yeah, this one is made in China. There's some toys up here. Produced in China. Most important things in my room are all made in China. It would suck to not have them. Every day I make breakfast in my kitchen. We're gonna go look at some of the products to see if they're made in China. I always use this waffle maker to make waffles. Made in China, so I wouldn't be able to make breakfast if I couldn't use this. Let's see the bowls. Nope, this is made in China as well. No, this toaster is made in China too. I have no breakfast now. This is my classroom. Made in China. Oh, made in China. Check out this computer. Assembled in China. This is made in China. Yep, this is made in China as well. So I'm here at Ross. Everyone in America comes to the store to buy all their home goods, you know, clothing, kitchen stuff. I mean, everyday items. No, these are made in China. Steph Curry shoes, made in China. These are made in Indonesia. Oh, they're made in China. Made in China. Made in China. Made in China. In China. 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 Made in China. Made in China. Made in China. Made in China. These are made in China too. Today was quite a day. I can't believe how many things are made in China. Literally everything in my everyday life is made in China. If everything was taken away that was made in China, I'd be really in trouble. My phone, my laptop, my TV, clothing, things you need to cook, any other types of products for your bathroom or everyday living, it would really suck if you did not have it. We basically have nothing. Nothing.
Nah, jadi dari video ini kita bisa melihat ya, hampir semua produk kita, pakaian kita pun mungkinan made in China juga ya. Nah, jadi dari sini kita bisa melihat betapa pentingnya posisi China di dunia, ya kan? Dari yang low tech sampai yang high tech, semuanya made in China. Jadi seperti kata ini, Renaldi Kasari ya, beliau ini adalah pendidik Indonesia ya. Dosen, beliau bilang kita selalu harus peka terhadap perubahan. Dunia ini sedang berubah dengan cepat dari yang China sekarang sedang berubah dengan cepat. Sudah lama sih ya, cepat kita baru mungkin akhirnya berubah dengan cepat. Kita seharusnya menempatkan diri kita di tempat di mana perubahan itu terjadi. Ya, kalau kita tidak mau berubah, kita tidak peka, ya kita kalah saingan, kita punah. Seperti hewan-hewan yang tidak bisa beradaptasi, akhirnya punah. Ya, manusia pun begitu, harus peka terhadap perubahan. Oke, sorry, tadi koneksi internet kurang bagus ya. Kita ganti providernya. Mudah-mudahan kali ini lebih baik ya. Jadi saya ulang lagi. Jadi ini Renadi Kasari bilang dunia sedang berubah dengan cepat. Kita harus peka dan kita harus menempatkan diri kita di mana perubahan itu terjadi. Ya, jadi China kita semua tahu sedang menuju ke nomor 1 dunia. Ya, disitulah kita menempatkan diri supaya kita mendapat kesempatan yang terbaik. Ya, kita tadi udah lihat di video itu dalam sehari kehidupan keseharian kita hampir semua barang adalah made in China. Nah, di situ kita bisa melihat betapa besarnya potensi China. Ya, kita ikut masuk ke gerbong kereta mereka, ikut maju bersama mereka, mendapatkan benefit dari sana. Ya. Tapi bagaimana caranya kita mau mendapat benefit dari sana? Ya, tentu dengan banyak hal yang mempelajari bahasanya, sekolah di sana, membangun networking dan segala macam ya. Nah, jadi di sini saya bilang ya, kita bisa bilang now is the best time to study in China. Adalah waktu terbaik sekali di China. Kenapa saat ini yang terbaik? Karena pertama opportunity yang ditawarkan di China begitu besar ya, baik kita mau sebagai businessman atau mau sebagai entrepreneur ya, atau mau sebagai scientist, mau sebagai ilmuwan, itu semua ditawarkan oleh China. Ya, pendidikan di sana juga semakin baik ya. Nanti kita bisa lihat ranking dunianya. Lalu ya tentu kita akan mempunyai karir dan bisnis yang baik ya kalau kita bisa berbisnis, berinteraksi, membangun networking dengan pihak China. Dan bukan hanya dengan China, kalau kita sekolah di China, kita pun berteman dengan teman-teman dari international students yang lain ya. Di China itu ada murid yang hadir dari 190 negara lebih. Jadi artinya itu suatu networking yang luar biasa kalau kita bisa berteman dengan begitu banyak manusia ya. Jadi kita bisa membangun networking yang luas, ya tentunya dengan teman dari mancanegara kita mempunyai wawasan yang internasional ya, luas. Lalu saat ini China biaya kuliahnya masih murah dan biaya hidupnya pun masih murah. Jadi ini adalah kesempatan terbaik. Dia tidak akan murah selamanya, tentu suatu hari akan berubah. Jadi inilah kesempatan terbaik ya, opportunity yang ditawarkan besar, sedangkan harganya masih murah. So this is the best time for you. Lalu di sana tentu Anda bisa mempelajari budaya, sejarah, bahasa dan segala macam ya, yang menarik perhatian gitu, musik apa segala macam ya, fashion apa juga bisa Anda ini, traveling apa juga bisa. Lalu di sana karena Anda hidup mandiri di sana, tidak lagi ada orang tua atau kakak adik yang menemani, Anda harus hidup mandiri, harus membuat keputusan sendiri segala macam, dari makan sampai mengelola keuangan sampai mengelola waktu. Nah, hal-hal inilah yang membuat Anda lebih percaya diri akhirnya ya. Lalu faktor keamanan sangat penting. China adalah salah satu negara yang paling aman di dunia, paling aman di dunia. Ya, beda halnya dengan banyak negara di saat ini ya, terutama di Amerika ya, sering terjadi penembakan massal, pembunuhan ya, dan lain-lain ya. Di Amerika itu hampir satu hari ada terjadi penembakan massal hampir 2 kali. Setiap hari hampir 2 kali penembakan massal dengan korban, baik yang luka maupun yang meninggal itu rata-rata 8 orang per hari. 2 kali kejadian setiap hari ya, jadi cukup mengerikan juga sih kalau ke China itu aman untuk mahasiswa asing. Oke, sekarang kita ngomong tentang kualitas pendidikan di China ya. China untuk Asia 25 besar universitas top di China, China menempati urutan nomor 1 ya. Kok nggak Singapura? Singapura kan universitasnya bagus ya, memang dia bagus, cuman hanya 2 universitasnya. Ya, sedangkan China menempatkan 7 universitas di dalam 25 besar. Ya, Korea juga 7, tapi overall skornya dia kalah sama China, gitu ya, cara perhitungannya begitu. Lalu Taiwan bagus, ya bagus, cuma 1 aja yang dia bisa masuk ke dalam 25 besar, gitu, ya. Jadi overall 25 top Asian University, China urutan nomor 1. Lalu kalau secara dunia, China untuk top 100 itu ada 6 universitas. Untuk top 500 ada 26 universitas. Singapura hanya top 2 universitas. Jadi tidak ada lagi dia, nggak ada top 3, top 4, top 5 tidak ada. Singapore Management University (SMU) itu pun tidak masuk ke dalam 500 besar. Jadi dia tidak di sini tidak menjadi 3 ya, karena SMU itu belum masuk ke dalam 500 besar. Lalu dia hampir sejajar sama Australia ya. Australia 7, China 6, lalu sama kalau 500 top 500 sama-sama 26. Indonesia top 100 tidak ada universitas yang masuk, top 500 pun hanya 4 universitas yang masuk. Ya, itulah kualitas pendidikan kita saat ini, mudah-mudahan bisa improve. Lalu kalau dibandingkan Amerika, memang Amerika jauh lebih unggul, 28 top 100-nya, untuk top 500-nya ada 87, memang dia lebih unggul. Cuma saat ini kondisinya tidak kondusif untuk kita sekolah ke sana ya, terutama mereka punya mereka punya rasisnya ya, anti-Asian hatred-nya tinggi gitu ya, ketemu orang Asia suka dipukulin, dibully gitu ya, atau penembakan massal, itu membuat orang tua enggan mengirim anaknya ke Amerika. Oke, berikutnya kita mau lihat di sini harga pendidikan di suatu negara dibandingkan dengan kualitas pendidikannya. Sama seperti kita mau beli barang. Kita mau beli barang, tentu kita mau beli barang dengan kualitas terbaik, tapi harga terendah. Demikian juga di pendidikan. Ya. Nah, jadi kita lihat di sini, seperti misalnya Singapura, secara biaya dia menempati nomor 2 termahal di dunia. Oke, tapi secara kualitas pendidikan dia hanya urutan ranking ke-6. Ya, demikian juga Hong Kong. Ya, dan kita ambil contoh Indonesia. Indonesia biayanya 9 termahal di dunia. Indonesia sekolah tidak murah, by the way, ya, 9 termahal di dunia, dan kualitasnya menempati urutan ke-11. Nah, kalau kita mau beli barang, kita tentu mau beli barang harga termurah, kualitas terbaik. Kita lihat China. China di urutan biayanya di urutan ke-13, artinya lebih rendah biayanya daripada kita di Indonesia. Tapi dia mutu pendidikannya adalah ke-5 terbaik di dunia. Dan ini survei dilakukan di tahun 2014. Ya, saya mau cari survei terbaru, saya belum dapat. Ya, tapi kalau saya dapat, saya yakin ini akan selisihnya akan jauh lebih jauh lagi. Kenapa? Karena pengalaman kita mengelola pendidikan ke China, secara biaya tidak banyak kenaikan biaya di China, ya. Tapi secara mutu China itu melompat tinggi sekali dari tahun ke tahun gitu. Jadi nanti complangnya akan lebih tinggi lagi kalau survei dilakukan lebih terakhir ke sekarang ini. Sayangnya saya nggak ketemu dari yang lebih baru lagi dari tahun 2014 ya. Kalau ada pasti complangnya ya, antara biaya dan mutu pendidikannya akan lebih selisihnya lebih jauh lagi gitu ya. Jadi dari sini kita bisa melihat antara cost dan benefit yang mana lebih menguntungkan kita ya. Makanan di China tidak mahal, bisa dilihat ya, dengan sedikit uang kita sudah bisa makan baik di kantin-kantin sekolah. Kenapa begitu? Karena di sekolah itu kantinnya sifatnya adalah disubsidi oleh sekolah, bukan untuk mencari untung. Ya, kalau Anda makan di restoran, makan di luar, ya hitungannya beda. Tapi kalau Anda makan di kantin, karena Anda mahasiswa tentu lebih banyak makan di kantin, biayanya ya seperti ini. Murah dan bersih dan kualitasnya baik. Murah bukan berarti murahan. Murah berarti dia disubsidi gitu ya. Jadi semua makanan ini setiap hari dicek oleh departemen kesehatannya. Semua sampling makanan dibawa ke lab, dicek dia punya kandungannya ya, kumannya dan segala macam. Jadi benar-benar terjaga kualitasnya. Dan semua peralatan makan ini ya, sendok, kerpus segala macam ini setiap hari disuci hamakan, di sanitizer pakai sinar UV ya. Jadi lingkungan kampus juga bagus di sana, bisa dilihat ya, lingkungannya sangat mendukung buat anak-anak sekolah, selalu ada danau ya, kondisinya tenang, fasilitas olahraga, jogging track, sepak bola itu selalu ada, basketball ada semua ya. Seperti ini. Kamar juga lumayan ya. Oke, jadi sekarang Anda sudah dapat gambaran ya dari sekolah ke China ya. Pertama dari opportunity yang ditawarkan, kedua dari harga yang tidak terlalu mahal, ya. Ketiga mempengaruhi ke karir Anda berikutnya, ya kan, masa depan Anda. Tapi setelah Anda tertarik untuk sekolah ke sana, antusias, bagaimana jalan terbaik Anda mencapai tujuannya, betul kan? Jadi kuliah di China rata-rata orang hanya mengandalkan HSK, ya, level 4, level 5 udah bisa mendaftar ke universitas. Ya, memang betul bisa mendaftar ke universitas. Tapi apakah cukup buat Anda untuk survive di university? Ya, banyak kalau Anda tanya kakak-kakak kelas, pasti banyak yang struggling, survive mungkin survive tapi babak belur, ya benar-benar sulit gitu, karena HSK itu adalah General Chinese, bahasa Mandarin umum. Sedangkan kamu kalau masuk kuliah, kamu itu udah pakai bahasa akademik, bahasa istilah-istilah akademis. Jadi bahasa umum kamu itu nggak cukup untuk menunjang bahasa-bahasa akademis gitu ya. Jadi Anda akan kesulitan di bahasa akademik, matematika dalam Mandarin, ekonomi dalam Mandarin, computing dalam Mandarin, engineering dalam Mandarin, dan ini yang kesulitan yang paling besar nih, menulis paper. Bagaimana Anda bisa mengarang dalam bahasa Mandarin? Nggak pernah punya skill kan? Kalau jawaban di HSK itu kan cuma ABCD begitu kan. Jadi Anda tidak pernah dilatih gitu ya. Jadi Anda harus sebetulnya Anda harus menyiapkan ini semua agar bisa survive di kuliah di China. Nah, disinilah China Campus Network hadir. Ya, karena China Campus Network menyediakan suatu program pendidikan namanya International Foundation Program yang isinya adalah mengajarkan ini semua, menyiapkan Anda sepenuhnya sampai Anda bisa kuliah di university dengan transisi yang smooth, ya, transisi yang baik dari Indonesia pakai bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris ke China pakai bahasa Mandarin, ya, supaya transisi lebih smooth sambil Anda dibantu untuk mendapatkan beasiswa, sambil Anda dibantu untuk daftarkan ke universitas pilihan Anda gitu ya. Karena China Campus Network ini adalah suatu konsorsium pendidikan yang terdiri dari 37 universitas. Jadi sudah ada kerjasamanya. Jadi anak-anak lulusan dari CCN, dari program foundation-nya, International Foundation Program, ini diakui hasilnya oleh ke-37 universitas tadi ya. Nah, jadi yang saya maksud ini, Anda datang ke universitas kuliah hanya berdasarkan HSK 4, HSK 5. Masih banyak area yang belum Anda cover. Jadi Anda tuh kesulitan untuk survive di university life ya. Harusnya Anda datang dengan persiapan seperti ini ya, bahasa Mandarin umum, bahasa Mandarin akademis ya, atau pelajaran-pelajaran core subjeknya, lalu study skill, mengarang, menulis, segala macam, membaca, research, library, research segala macam. Ini yang di cover oleh China Campus Network. Konsep ini yang di cover oleh China Campus Network. Ya, nanti akan saya terangkan lebih lanjut. Oke, sekarang kita fokus dulu ke siapakah CCN. CCN itu adalah China, singkatannya ya, China Campus Network. Itu suatu konsorsium pendidikan yang terdiri dari 37 universitas top di China. Dia ada di 11 tempat di China untuk lokasi belajarnya, lokasi foundation-nya. Kami hadir di 12 negara. Ya, kami kalau Cerdas Bangsa hadir di Indonesia sebagai perwakilan China Campus Network Indonesia. Lalu di dalam CCN itu mereka punya suatu program untuk melatih kita, namanya Global Digital Talent. Ya, lalu terakhir CCN menawarkan banyak beasiswa yang bisa Anda nikmati setelah Anda mengambil foundation-nya. Ya. Ini adalah distribusi kantor-kantor kami, tapi ini data bukan yang terakhir ya, ini sudah berkembang lagi. Ya, di sini masih tersebut 28 universitas, sekarang sudah jadi 37 ya. Ini belum terakhir. Lalu rata-rata murid kami mendapat beasiswa sebanyak 92% dari semua murid yang mendaftar. Ya. Ini adalah distribusi universitasnya ya, dari yang di selatan sampai yang di utara sampai di Harbin. Tapi sekali lagi ini bukan data terakhir, sekarang ini sudah bertambah menjadi 37 universitas ya. Ini adalah tim kami. Waktu itu kami hadir di Alibaba headquarter. Oke, kita langsung masuk ke bagaimana sih kualitas dari ke-37 universitas di CCN ini ya. Jadi satu, Futan Tashe itu kalau di dunia dia adalah ranking ke-31. Ini ranking terbaru ya, tahun 2022 berdasarkan QS. Ranking 31. Lalu Zhejiang 45, Shanghai Jiaotong 50 dan seterusnya. Nah, kita bandingkan dengan universitas yang selama ini kita kenal di negara barat, misalnya Berkeley ya, University of California, Melbourne U, Monash U ya, Sydney U. Ini Monash U di sini, ini adalah alma mater saya. Dia berada di urutan ke-58 Monash U. Shanghai Jiao Tong ada di 50, masih lebih tinggi daripada Monash ya. Lalu dari sini kita bisa melihat ya ranking universitas di China itu sangat baik ya saat ini dan terus membaik ya. Lalu yang saya kuningkan ini adalah universitas yang Indonesia, Gajah Mada University berada di 254. Saat ini Gajah Mada UGM ada universitas terbaik di Indonesia. Universitas Indonesia sudah turun ya ke 290. Jadi dari sini kita bisa lihat ya kualitas pendidikan China, kualitas pendidikan Indonesia, kualitas pendidikan China dibandingkan dengan di dunia seperti apa gitu ya. Rata-rata Universitas Indonesia itu menempatkan di daerah-daerah yang sudah di atas 750 ke atas deh universitas Indonesia yang ada di Indonesia ya. Satu-satunya universitas swasta yang masuk adalah BINUS, masuk ke dalam daftar 1.200 besar dunia, hanya BINUS, yaitu di ranking 1.000 sampai 1.200 urutannya ya. Yang swasta yang lain tidak ada yang masuk ke ranking dunia. Oke, jadi cara kerja foundation itu seperti ini ya. Anda mengambil International Foundation Program, itu bisa 3 bulan, 3,5 bulan, bisa 5 bulan, bisa 1 tahun, tergantung dari kemampuan Mandarin Anda saat ini ya. Jadi setelah ambil foundation program, Anda akan mendapat program persiapan kuliah terbaik, yang tadi sudah terangkan ya, apa aja pelajaran-pelajaran yang kamu dapat, lalu mendapatkan beasiswa dan mendapatkan universitas top sesuai dengan pilihan kamu dan juga sesuai dengan prestasi kamu pada saat di foundation ya. Lalu setelah itu kamu masuk kuliah di universitas yang menjadi pilihan Anda. Setelah itu Anda udah mulai kuliah pun masih dapat support dari CCN, yaitu berupa online support. Jadi dia ada library online, di sana tuh banyak sekali materialnya. Kalau Anda masih kesulitan berkuliah di kuliah, Anda bisa akses ke dia punya digital library, akses mencari bahan yang Anda butuhkan. Ya, masih disupport sampai sebegitunya walaupun Anda sudah kuliah. Ya. Oke, jadi kita tadi bahas ini area ini yang apa aja yang di cover ya. Nah, di cover misalnya Anda ambil business stream, mau ambil bisnis tadi kan, mau laupan gitu ya. Nah, Anda akan belajar Chinese umum dan Chinese akademik, lalu pelajaran-pelajaran universitas, yaitu di sini economics dan business study, lalu core subjeknya adalah matematika bisnis. Semua diajarkan dalam bahasa Mandarin ya. Lalu kalau Anda mau ambil science and engineering, sama Anda belajar bahasa akademisnya engineering, science ya. Lalu core subjeknya, business subjeknya, universitas subjeknya, Anda akan mendapat introduction to computing science, computer science. Lalu core subjeknya Anda mendapatkan matematika dan fisika ya. Lalu kalau Anda ambil yang non matematika, itu kami sebutnya non humanities, berarti Anda tidak ada pelajaran matematika, tidak ada pelajaran yang rumit-rumit ya, hitung-hitungan. Jadi Anda mendapatkan total semuanya belajar bahasa Mandarin, tapi Mandarinnya betul-betul mendalam ya. Nanti Anda bisa bekerja di bisa bersekolah kuliah di kuliah yang tidak ada hubungannya dengan hitung-hitungan ya. Misal Anda ambil hukum ya, itu tidak ada hubungannya, atau ambil international relation, itu tidak ada hubungannya sama matematika. Jadi Anda tidak ada hitung-hitungan. Oke, berikutnya pasti banyak orang tua yang tanya, mahal nggak program seperti ini dengan support seperti ini, kualitas seperti ini, kesempatan seperti ini, dapat beasiswa, apakah mahal tidak pendidikannya? Begitu kan? Oke, ini saya hitungkan seperti ini. Biaya root A yang ini yang 1 tahun, biaya root B yang 5 bulan, biaya root C yang 3,5 bulan ya. Jam belajarnya dari sini 1.000 jam, 500 jam, 300 jam. Lalu kita bagikan. Ini hasilnya. Hasil biaya yang harus kita keluarkan per jam untuk belajar. Hanya 71.000, hanya 100.000 lebih, hanya 125.000 per jam. Ya kan? Kita belajar bahasa Mandarin yang di Indonesia saja, bahasa Mandarin saja di Indonesia sudah berapa? Ya, tentu maksud saya belajar Mandarin yang serius ya, bukan belajar bahasa Mandarin yang abal-abal ya. Belajar Mandarin yang serius ya, yang mengajarnya gurunya qualified punya ya, itu pun sudah mahal. Belum lagi nanti di situ ada belajar matematika dalam bahasa Mandarin. Di Indonesia tentu tidak ada guru yang bisa mengajar matematika dalam Mandarin, fisika dalam Mandarin, apalagi. Ya, jadi ini semua yang mengajarkan adalah native speaker dengan biaya seperti ini. Lalu setelah itu Anda mendapat beasiswa, Anda mendapat support, seterusnya dan seterusnya. ini sebetulnya biaya yang sangat tidak mahal. Ya, dengan biaya sebesar ini, ya, dan beasiswa yang akan Anda dapat pada saat Anda kuliah 4 tahun, biaya sebesar ini akan dengan mudah tertutup kembali, akan lebih mudah tertutup kembali. Ya, jadi artinya Anda bayar sejumlah uang sekarang, tapi nanti akan Anda hemat kembali di beasiswa. Ya, sambil membuat diri Anda lebih siap untuk kuliah nantinya, lebih survive di kuliah. Ya. Oke, keuntungannya apa dari program CCN? Program CCN ini tadi yang saya bilang, dengan biaya sebesar ini, Anda sudah mendapatkan keuntungan seperti ini. Guru native speaker berkualifikasi tinggi. Jadi yang guru yang mengajarkan ke anak-anak kita adalah yang guru-guru yang betul-betul qualified. Lalu Anda di sana belajar bahasa Mandarin umum dan bahasa Mandarin akademis sesuai jurusan Anda. Lalu ada pelajaran matematika, ekonomi, fisika, kimia, dan seterusnya semua dalam Mandarin. Lalu karena ini adalah konsumsi pendidikan dari 37 universitas, Anda akan lebih mudah masuk ke universitas unggulan yang menjadi pilihan Anda, ya kan? Dan banyak beasiswa yang ditawarkan. Rata-rata 92-95% murid kami mendapat beasiswa setiap tahun. Ya, yang tidak dapat beasiswa itu yang biasanya mereka yang nilai foundation-nya sangat buruk, sangat jelek, ya. Lalu karena hasil kelulusan dari IP ini diakui oleh 37 universitas yang menjadi konsorsiumnya, sehingga tidak dibutuhkan tes HSK lagi. Jadi nilai foundation sudah bisa untuk apply ke universitasnya. Ya, kecuali ada beberapa universitas yang mereka punya syarat khusus, Anda tetap dibutuhkan HSK 5, tapi sisanya sebagian besar tidak perlu lagi HSK. Ya. Lalu yang tadi saya sudah bilang itu, ya, setelah Anda mendaftar ke AFP, ke CCN, Anda akan didukung, disupport all rounded 360 derajat semua, ya. Dari sebelum Anda mulai belajar di AFP, selama Anda belajar di AFP, sampai Anda masuk ke kuliah, Anda tetap disupport, ya. Lalu ini ada program program eksklusif hanya untuk anak-anak yang mengambil CCN, yaitu Digital China Talent. Ini adalah suatu program yang baik yang bagi Anda untuk melatih Anda untuk dunia digital. Sekarang kan serba digital, ya. Jadi Anda diajarkan on top of ilmu yang Anda pelajari di universitas, Anda akan mendapat kelas-kelas yang berupa digital China Talents ini, gitu, ya. Supaya Anda tidak ketinggalan di dunia digital saat ini yang berkembang sangat pesat, kan. Lalu beasiswa yang ditawarkan seperti ini, ada A0, itu artinya yang terbesar, jenis beasiswa, ya. A0 adalah yang terbesar, Anda mendapat uang sekolah, mendapat kamar, kemudian mendapat uang mahasiswa kecil, 5% uang sekolah, 100% uang sekolah, lalu 50% dari 30%. Dari mana Anda ditentukan mendapatkan beasiswa yang jenis apa? Ada 2 kriteria, 1 nilai SMA kalian yang dilihat, lalu kedua nilai lulusan dari IP. Jadi kedua inilah yang mempengaruhi Anda mendapatkan beasiswa jenis apa, ya. Jadi kalau Anda sekarang masih di SMA 2 gitu, ya, SMA 3, kebut dapat nilai yang baik, nanti bisa menikmati beasiswa yang lebih tinggi, ya. Nah, ini adalah biaya yang kita hitung secara kasar, ya, biaya uang sekolah selama sampai lulus. Jadi saya ambil contoh adalah IP yang berlangsung 1 tahun plus uang kuliah yang berlangsung 4 tahun, total 5 tahun. Tahun pertama tentu kita bayar full, ya, karena tidak ada beasiswa di CCN, kan. Lalu 4 tahun ini kita menikmati beasiswa. Kelima tahun ini kita jumlah uang sekolahnya, uang tempat tinggalnya, makannya, tiketnya, semuanya kita kompakkan all in semua, ya, urusan dokumentasi, cek kesehatan dan segala macam, kita total biayanya adalah yang seperti di sini. Rata-rata adalah 60 juta per tahun dikalikan 5 tahun, ya, berarti 300 juta, ya. Nah, kalau Anda mendapatkan kategori beasiswa A0, ya. Kalau Anda tidak beruntung, tidak dapat A0, Anda dapatnya A1, ya, berarti biaya per tahunnya selama 5 tahun itu adalah 80 juta per tahun. Atau kalau Anda mendapatkan, let's say, cuma 50% uang kuliah dipotong, Anda keluar 105 juta per tahun all in, termasuk makan 3 kali sehari, termasuk tiket pesawat pulang pergi setahun sekali, termasuk biaya kamar, termasuk medical check up segala macam lah ya, mahasiswa, asuransi mahasiswa dan segala macam. Jadi kalau kita lihat di sini, ini sebenarnya tidak mahal kuliah di China, ya kan? Ini saya screenshot dari orang tua murid yang memasak. Kuliah di Indonesia pun tidak murah, ya kan? Kuliah di Indonesia pun tidak murah. Ya, jadi Anda kuliah di luar negeri mendapatkan pengalaman yang jauh lebih baik, ya, dan biayanya lebih murah, ya. Nah, ini kira-kira jurusan-jurusan yang ditawarkan oleh IFP ya, tapi ini jauh lebih banyak lagi ya. Ini lebih banyak lagi ya. Kalau Anda ambil bisnis berarti ini yang bisa Anda pilih. Ini saya hanya ambil sebagian kecil saja. Ratusan jurusan. Ada yang nggak kita sebutkan di sini. Bisnis atau engineering, ini yang jurusan-jurusan yang bisa Anda ambil. Kalau humanities yang tidak ada matematikanya tadi itu, ini yang bisa Anda ambil ya. Lalu jadi kita udah cover dari kualitas, biaya dan segala macam jurusan-jurusan. Nah, terus sekarang ada juga orang tua yang bertanya, lah sekarang kan masih online ya, jadi belajarnya masih dari Indonesia ya. Apakah udah bisa kuliah offline di China gitu ya? Nah, saat ini adalah secara visa center di Jakarta, kedutaan besar China punya visa center itu sudah buka, sudah bisa menerima aplikasi visa pelajar Indonesia. Ya, jadi sebetulnya kalau Anda sudah mendapatkan izin dari universitas, Anda sudah bisa balik. Anda tinggal minta surat-suratnya yang lengkap, bawa ke visa center, itu kami yang urus Cerdas Bangsa, bawa ke visa center, nanti sudah bisa dibikinkan visa pelajar. Ya. Cuman terkendalanya adalah paling utama pertimbangan anak-anak Indonesia adalah di harga tiket dan karantina yang masih mahal. Jadi ada sebagian besar anak-anak Indonesia walaupun sudah bisa pergi, mereka tetap memilih belajar online dulu sementara sambil menunggu harga tiket turun gitu ya. Jadi kalau misalnya Anda masuk September ini, intake September ini di foundation, Anda tinggal mungkin belajar hanya setengah tahun. Setelah itu Februari Anda kemungkinan sudah bisa berangkat ya. Harga tiket mungkin sudah murah, karantina pun mungkin udah nggak usah karantina atau udah sangat pendek karantinanya. Jadi Februari Anda bisa berangkat. Jadi kemungkinan ya kalau Anda tidak mau berangkat sekarang, Anda bisa berangkat di Februari nanti ya. Jadi saat ini beberapa murid kami pun sudah bikin visa, sudah mendapatkan visanya, sudah sebentar lagi mau berangkat. Tanggal 7 September sudah berangkat. Ada beberapa yang bukan tanggal 7 tapi setelahnya berangkat. Mereka sekarang dalam posisi lagi tunggu visanya keluar dari kedutaan dari visa center China ya. Ada yang sudah dapat, tinggal tunggu berangkat tanggal 7. Ada yang lagi tunggu visanya keluar, sudah masuk paspornya, tunggu visanya keluar. Jadi sebetulnya secara teori sih sudah terbuka, cuman anak-anak tuh ada yang mau pergi, ada yang tidak mau pergi dulu karena faktor tadi mahalnya tiket ya. Lalu CCN ini dia menawarkan banyak produk ya, banyak produk. Produknya itu ada yang CCN yang IFP yang tadi saya ceritakan, lalu ada lagi IFP yang sifatnya lebih spesifik. Jadi Anda waktu masuk ke ambil foundation program, Anda sudah menentukan jurusan apa gitu ya. Ini lebih spesifik. Saya nggak terangkan ini secara mendetil di sini karena waktu kita terbatas ya. Nanti kalau ada yang tertarik di salah satu jurusan ini boleh ditanyakan. Lalu IFP Premier University. Jadi ini adalah suatu IFP yang disiapkan khusus untuk menargetkan anak-anak foundationnya masuk ke salah satu dari 5 universitas unggulan ini ya. Jadi mereka digembleng khusus gitu, kelas khusus gitu ya. Lalu mereka juga ada IFP full time yang saya bilang itu 3 bulan, 3,5 bulan, 5 bulan, 1 tahun, atau yang part time. Jadi Anda sambil belajar SMA, Anda bisa ambil foundationnya secara pelan-pelan. Ada yang 1,5 tahun, ada yang 2 tahun, ada yang 3 tahun, ada yang 4 tahun. Jadi begitu Anda ambil SMA, lulus SMA selesai, foundation Anda pun selesai, Anda langsung ke China untuk kuliah. Jadi lebih hemat waktu. Jadi istilahnya tuh foundationnya itu dicicil selagi Anda SMA. ada juga program seperti itu. Jadi Anda belajarnya dari Indonesia ya. Karena Anda masih SMA, sambil SMA Anda sambil belajar foundation secara online. Lalu dia juga ada foundation yang diperuntukkan bagi nanti Anda mau berlanjut kuliah pakai bahasa Inggris. Yang tadi kita bahas di awal-awal kan semua pakai bahasa Mandarin ya. Ini ada khusus disiapkan IP yang nanti kuliahnya pakai bahasa Inggris gitu ya. Atau kuliahnya nanti mau di Alibaba Business School yang di Hangzhou. Itu juga ada programnya. Jadi kira-kira seperti ini produk-produk yang ada di CCN. Saya bahasan CCN yang ini yang serius-serius sudah selesai. Saya ingin menunjukkan kira-kira seperti apa sih kondisi hidup anak-anak kita di sana ya. Ini adalah anak-anak kita yang di CCN Foundation yang di Shanghai ya. Ini adalah saat mereka berangkat mau ambil foundation persiapan kuliah itu foundation yang ke Xi'an ya, ke Xi'an. Nah, ini saat mereka ini di Bandara Jakarta. Ini di bandara yang setelah tiba di Xi'an ya, dijemput oleh orang-orang dari CCN, dibawa ke kampus, check-in kamar dan seterusnya, diurus semuanya, beli SIM card dan seterusnya ya. Ini murid-murid dari negara lain lagi, sama ya, dijemput juga oleh CCN dari kantor pusatnya. Ini murid kami yang berangkat menuju ke Shanghai, sama juga kami melakukan bantu mereka di Bandara Jakarta, mereka dijemput di bandara Shanghai, lalu dibawa ke kampus masing-masing. Nah, kira-kira seperti ini kelasnya ya, teman Anda dari mancanegara, kiri kanan depan belakang, mungkin warna rambutnya beda-beda semua ya, seperti ini. Jadi kelasnya kelas internasional. Kira-kira seperti itu pengantar dari saya ya. Mudah-mudahan jelas. Nanti seterusnya untuk yang lebih detail akan dibawakan oleh Lause dari CCN dari Shanghai ya. Saya kembalikan ke Busro. Oh, by the way, ada satu testimoni dari murid kita yang baru saja selesai mengambil foundation. Ya, nanti kita dengarkan dia punya pengalamannya seperti apa ya. Silakan, Busro.
Halo semua, Pak Coho. Senang sekali hari ini bisa bergabung di webinar ini. Perkenalkan, nama saya Audrey Tito. Nama Mandarin saya Kang Jin Hui. Saya asal dari Bandung. Selama 1 tahun terakhir ini saya mengikuti program AFP dari CCN. Dan saya sekarang sudah mendapatkan beasiswa dan placement di Shanghai University sesuai dengan pilihan saya. Dalam hal ini, menurut saya dari awal pertama kali saya mau memutuskan untuk pergi ke China untuk berkuliah, CCN itu sangat-sangat membantu saya dalam hal memberi placement di universitas pilihan saya. CCN juga memberikan banyak sekali pilihan dan alternatif universitas di China untuk program yang saya inginkan. Mereka juga mengadakan program 1 tahun belajar terlebih dahulu, namanya IFP yang tadi sudah dijelaskan oleh Pak Tanjung. Saya di IFP ini belajar bahasa Mandarin, matematika, dan juga fisika dalam bahasa Mandarin. Meskipun saya tidak berkesempatan untuk langsung datang ke IFP Center-nya untuk attend secara offline, tapi pengalaman belajar saya secara online sangat-sangat memuaskan, sangat-sangat membantu. Pertama kali ikut IFP, saya nggak punya sama sekali dasar bahasa Mandarin, ujian HSK, saya nggak punya sama sekali. Jadi saya juga sempat cemas, khawatir, bisa nggak ya ikut pelajaran nanti di university, apa bakal ketinggalan, apa nanti kalah persaingan secara nilai lah ya gitu. Tapi ternyata setelah ikut IFP, guru-gurunya itu sangat sabar, terus sangat-sangat membantu saya, nggak pelit ilmu. Terus udah gitu, ada masanya waktu saya kesulitan belajar matematika, fisika, itu IFP bantu dengan menyediakan guru tutor. Jadi sangat-sangat dimudahkan gitu untuk belajar pelajaran-pelajaran yang emang dinilai sulit. Nah, terus selain dari IFT itu juga, saya merasa sangat-sangat dibantu dalam hal administrasi, kayak pendaftaran ke universitinya nggak usah apply sendiri lagi, tapi udah langsung masuk dari nilai CCN-nya. Nah, dengan demikian, saya itu jadi lebih percaya diri gitu waktu sekarang mau masuk ke university. Saya juga sangat-sangat senang bisa masuk ke university yang emang saya tuju dengan program yang saya mau. Bahkan saya juga sekarang dapat beasiswa A3, yaitu tuition fee 50%. Selain dari situ juga untuk keberangkatan nanti ke depannya juga akan dibantu oleh pihak CCN. Maka dari itu saya senang bisa bergabung dengan CCN IFP dengan dibantu juga oleh CCN. Sekian dari saya. Terima kasih.
Oke, ya terima kasih banyak Andre atas testimonial langsungnya ya, pengalaman mengikuti kelas foundation di China Campus Network. Nah, di Audrey ini adalah salah satu murid kami. Intake pendaftaran foundationnya itu di September 2021. Dia ambil yang rute A yang foundationnya 1 tahun, dan September tahun ini beliau diterima dan masuk di Shanghai University, ambil jurusan Food Science dan Engineering, dan dapat beasiswa 50% uang sekolah. Nah, itu informasi singkat dari dan testimonial dari Audrey Keiko yang dari Bandung. Dan terima kasih juga kepada Pak Tanjung yang tadi sudah memberikan informasi presentasi yang telah disampaikan. Mudah-mudahan bisa menjadi suatu referensi untuk teman-teman yang ingin studi ke China. Oke, sesi selanjutnya itu presentasi dari China Campus Network yang akan disampaikan oleh Sabrina Lause dari Shanghai. Mungkin nanti akan dilanjut oleh Anna Lause. Oke, kepada Sabrina Lause, waktu dan tempat saya persilahkan.
Hello.
Hello, Sabrina.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Good, good. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. It's very nice to meet all of our Indonesia students and parents online. It's especially precious for the moment. I hope all of you and your family are safe and healthy. We know currently the whole world is still not totally out of the pandemic situation. So most of all, I think the important thing is let's stay safe. Then, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity for me and my colleagues to invite you to study in China and to study with CCN, and to give us this opportunity to introduce about CCN and our programs. So let me share my screen first. Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
You. Okay, let me start. Give you a brief introduction about China Campus Network. We are a consortium of 37 Chinese universities aiming to providing international students with a one-stop solution before, during, and after the studies in China. I think mainly including two parts about academic programs and all the other additional but necessary educational services that's our basic services provided to all the students. We all know, thanks for President Chen's presentation about why study in China. I think he gave a very wonderful presentation about China, about the benefits of studying in China. We agree very much so, because I think as the second largest economy in the world, and also as the third largest destination to receive international students, I think China is actually your partner for you to invest your education and to build up your future. And very much in this kind of mission, I think 37 of CCN member universities have joined together and committed to helping international students to succeed. This is basically our mission. If you look into details about our members as a consortium, actually, we are very proud to say many of our members actually standing shoulder to shoulder in the first league of global universities. We talk about a lot of ranking just now. Here, I also want to share the latest QS 2022. We have 10 Chinese universities ranked in top 250. All of them are CCN member universities. If you look at the latest US News ranking for the best engineering universities in the world, and there are also 3 universities, Chinese universities are top 10, but 2 of them also are CCN member universities. You can say we have Harbin Institute of Technology as number 5, Shanghai Jiaotong as number 10. I think many parents and students are familiar with like MIT, UC Berkeley, or Imperial College of London from US, UK, these leading countries. But I think this is why we're so proud. Many of our members actually standing shoulder to shoulder in the first league. That's some basic information about universities. I know because of the pandemic, actually, many of the current students are studying online. Even for new students, are very looking forward to visit China, study offline, visit the campus. So I'd like to show you a small short video of 2 minutes, just to show you CCN member universities, our campus, facilities, student life, to give you a quick glance of that. Okay, I hope all of you enjoyed the video. And I very much hope that all of you can soon visit all the campus by yourselves in China. But as you can see from the video, even based on your experience, because as a group of 37, all our member universities are very strong and special in their own way, in their own aspects. But there is one common thing, and why 37 called as CCN universities is we share a common educational belief is collectively we have received like 15% of all the international students coming to study in China. So our member universities received 15% of them. So based on the rich experience, we found that for all the students coming from different worlds to study in China, we think they need to be fully prepared. But the current method, the current preparations are not very enough. And this is why we cause a lot of obstacles or difficulties for students study in China and also to succeed in the studies. Basically, they need to be fully prepared in terms of the language, but also in terms of the academic subjects and also in terms of culture and learning methodologies. But we don't think the current HSK test just to evaluate the general Chinese language would be enough for students to start a degree study in Chinese in a Chinese university in the same classroom with Chinese classmates. And general Chinese is definitely not enough. There are actually a lot of academic gaps we have been identified based on our teaching of international students from all over the world. Let me give you some examples. We see how we see these academic distances. We do see the academic distance between the academic Chinese and general Chinese, because I think many people think, yeah, I know, if I go to study in China, I need to speak Chinese. But there is a huge difference when you come to China to visit China as a tourist. So you may know some Chinese language is enough, but when you come here as a student, you're going to study in a Chinese university in the academic environment. You need academic Chinese. So all these terminologies and definitions and different way of speaking and writing is totally absolutely different from the general Chinese. I have a quote here. It's actually basically a very short paragraph from our business class for economics. I think if we have some students have basic Chinese language today, you can see there are many terms which you don't use for daily life. So you don't actually learn that in general Chinese. And this is why we think this is a gap we need to fill for students. But there is another level of gap is also in terms of our subject knowledge, because pre-universities we do study mathematics, physics, and chemistry for all these subjects. But different countries, we have very different criteria, different curriculum, or different even assessment way to prepare students before they go to the universities. So for any international students, CCN member universities believe that you need to at least prepare your basic subjects to the average level of Chinese high school graduates. And most importantly, you need to study them in Chinese, study mathematics in Chinese. So there is also a lot of terminology and way of expression and formatting thing for students to fill in the gap. That's number two. I think lastly, but not least, and also very intangibly, is the culture difference. Because when you are moving from a very different location to China in the academic situation, you are actually following all the format of Chinese culture protocol, how to join the discussion, how to seek for help, how to do research, how to even handle the conflicts, which will definitely happen every day, whenever you are with your peer students or even with your professors. So this kind of culture gap also need to be filled to enable you to succeed in your future study. Basically, based on this kind of belief, CCN all the universities have joined together we launched a program called International Foundation Program to fill the purposes to help all the international students to get fully prepared in terms of the language, in terms of the academic subjects, and in terms of the culture. So the foundation program, which President Chen and also our students, graduates mentioned just now, has been jointly developed by all 37 member universities and also recognized. If the students have taken the course and the result of the IFP will be the solely sufficient academic criteria we need for you to be admitted into the degree program or even to award the scholarships. So this is basically why what CCN is doing to help with the students, our main program as IFP. After 7 years of offering our foundation programs, now CCN, we're proud to say that we are the biggest foundation provider for international students in Chinese market, apart from the government scholarship program. We are the biggest one. So we are very confident today or continuously to offer the CCN Foundation Program to all over the world, the students, and to offer the following benefits about why you choose CCN IFP. We think we offer the worldwide recognitions and best quality of foundation education to you. If you join CCN IFP, you actually are going to join a huge group of more than 33,000 students from 15 countries across the world. So based on, I think until this July 2022, we have actually more than 3,200 IFP students graduated and successfully progressed to 37 CCN member universities doing the degree programs in a wide range of subjects. And in terms of the opportunities, because of they have achieved a very outstanding IFP results and they enjoy a lot of opportunities for the best scholarships for the academic excellence. If you want to understand who actually are in this community, you can say all these over 3,000 students, our graduates are actually from more than 15 countries, but we have 1/3 of them from Southeast Asia. So mainly including students from Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. And then another 1/3 is actually from Europe, is we have a lot of, majority of students coming from Russia and Poland. And of course, some of them are from Latin American, from Mexico. So you actually enjoy a very wide range of alumni as a whole total community of IFP. I think the wide students distribution recognized the acceptance of IFP as quality being well received by the markets and by all the students from different countries. But why? I think mainly because of the best quality of the foundation education we offer. I think first of all is if you want to, as the biggest one and as the best one, you need to have the best educational ideas and methods. Because we enjoy such a big group of students with such a diversity from different countries, we have standard curriculum and methods to teach them. But we also very, very importantly is developed into a country-specific way. Is we need to understand that students from Indonesia, the needs and the way of learning and what kind of support they need will be very different from the students from Russia and from Mexico. Even after IFP, we continue to offer continuous support when students are actually in year one, degree year one, because we feel like all this bridging part of that is CCN will be always there. It's a very essential stage for students to stabilize themselves and moving into the different level. Of course, people always talk about teachers. We have best IFP teachers. I think we are always proud to share that many of our foundation teachers teaching international students are actually from the first group in developing and teaching foundation program in China ever since, I think since 2005. That's actually when the whole country is starting to offer foundation education to any international students. Apart from teachers, basically facilities, we have our global digital campus. Of course, I think this is mainly developed because we have the pandemic situation and all the offline teaching stopped. So we quickly developed the digital campuses to streamline all the teaching and learning online. I believe that later on we have two graduates, IFP graduate, outstanding graduates are going to share a lot of more the learning experience online. But this is what we think will be very important to the quality of the students. But what I want to emphasize here is it's nothing because the digital campus would be using only for online. But even when I think the new students are afraid to come to China to do offline, the digital campus will be a very important facilities, which nobody else is doing. Is we're only doing this for our foundation students to make sure all the data students learning behaviors and all your outcomes, exams are recorded as a big database. So teachers will be easier to identify each student's problems or difficulties. So the teaching and learning will be smarter. That will be a strong component of all the future IFP teachings because we have such a best facility. Last, also very importantly, is the quality assurance. As we introduced just now, is we actually have more than 3,000 students doing IFP in different locations in 10 university IFP centers. So we do have very rigid, robust quality assurance policies to make sure all the teaching in different centers are up to the same level. And when you have the IFPA from this center and also with another student from another center getting an A, make sure you are actually the same quality. So this is why I cannot emphasize enough is this is why all your results can be the solely sufficient criteria for university to say, okay, I accept these students based on IFP results. I even award like level 1, level 2, level 3 scholarships based on the IFP results. So we do have the confidence in the IFP results is because we have a very strong quality assurance system applied to support all the final outcome and the final results of that. The second biggest benefit, I think many of our students will enjoy and also are very popular is we offer a wide choices and guarantee. I think both of them are equally important. In terms of wide choices, I think it's very obvious because we are consortium. So in terms of universities, you will be able to choose one of 37 universities. In terms of geographical locations, no matter you are a big fan of like Beijing, Shanghai, of the first tier, city, big city, or you want to study in a culturally famous and rich city like Xi'an. For example, some people want to study in the south because, I'm from Indonesia. I want to study in the south, like a similar situation. But probably some students will say, I want to experience difference. I want to study in the north, which is very different from my country at home. So this, no matter what you like, I think there is an option for you because we are provide 37 options for you. But nothing only about the location is, another one is in terms of the programs. So 37 universities collectively provide you hundreds of undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs for your choice in business, science, engineering, and humanities. But we think, the more is better, but it's not the more is always better, is we always encourage our students is when you have such a, wide choices, you need to know how to make your choice. So basically, how we link your current program with your future career, what would be the most demanded talents for Indonesia in the following 4 or 5 years, and why you come to study this program in China, so then you must choose some program China is especially good at. And this is why we also selected a lot of, very highly recommended programs for our students to choose for business. Not only do very general like IB, I think many international do, but we recommend a lot of digitalized program. This is all because of the digital economy era is coming. So China in this way has presented a lot of strength and application in the industry. So when you come to China, you do cross-border e-commerce, digital marketing, big data. So these kind of programs we think will most benefit our students. And then you choose science and engineering, IoT engineering, AI, software engineering. So these kind of programs are highly related to digital, the era of digital economy, even humanities. So when you do journalism, but we have digital media and digital communication and journalism, even business Chinese, which is related to how the bilateral communication between your country and China. This is why when we offer wide choices for the students, but also give very specific recommendations and guidelines about how you should make your choices when there are too many. While you have many choices, I think the most important thing CCN has been trying to do is also to provide guarantee, just to make sure the actual benefits will be enjoyed by IFP students. So we developed these guarantee terms for all our IFP graduates. As long as you have completed IFP program successfully, so if you have achieved the average of 60%, and you will be guaranteed to be admitted by at least one of CCN member universities. But in terms of scholarships, if you are achieving higher, like for students achieving the average of 75, and you will be guaranteed with 100% scholarship opportunities. But if, as many of our outstanding graduates here today, like the girl student talked, and then we're going to have another two share with you. If you'll be able to achieve outstanding ones, either above 85 or 90, and then you will be able to enjoy even higher level of scholarships. I think the guarantee here we want to emphasize is we have a very strong belief is we want to reward the best academic performance. So it's nothing about scholarships we're proud of. It's actually the academic performance achieved by IFP students we are proud of. So if you can hear me clearly, I'm going to continue to share some general data about it because we have just completed the academic year of 2021-22. So we will be able to share that out of all those 3,000, we have more than 2,000 IP graduates successfully progressed to 30 CCN member universities. But what kind of university have they progressed? Because when we say we have so many, and then actually with the majority of the students go to the premier university in the group, yes, that is actually the current distribution. If you can see the top 5 of them, I think 4 of the universities are the first league of Chinese universities. We called 985, 985 or 211 universities, like 247 going to Shanghai universities, 170 going to NPU, Xi'an Jiaotong, Jiangsu, and Tianjin universities. So basically, this is some very positive and encouraging numbers which our students have achieved, which means that IP students have been very popular. But even more encouraging is if you look at all this more than 2,000 students graduated successfully, more than 90% of them have been gotten the chance to receive the scholarships, and more than 40% with full scholarship, which is A0. And as President Chen introduced, 100% tuition pay plus either accommodation or as a living allowance. So basically, again, I want to emphasize, we don't want to just emphasize about the scholarship and money, but we want to say is if you join, if you try everything, try your best, and then you will be rewarded with the best university, with the best scholarship. So that's the true value of IFP. I think the third benefit we're offering will be especially important for the new students. We have been offering IFP full-time for our international students for 6 years, which means if you are a high school year 3 students, you graduated from your high school, you take 1 year's time or half year's time to join IFP full-time, doing 36 weeks or 18 weeks of program, getting ready, getting your offer, getting your scholarship, going to Chinese universities to study. But if now we have in the audience, we have students, still in high school year 1, but you do want to start all your preparations for studying China as early as possible, and studying Chinese and doing foundation courses. And you can start now by taking our part-time IP programs. We ranging from 2 years or even 3 years or even longer. I don't know whether we have students from junior high school, middle school, but this is basically the idea we offer both model of that to efficiently help any students who are planning to go to study in China to get prepared efficiently in the most efficient way. And when you look at part-time, when you are doing, while you are doing your high school study, you are doing IFP preparations, we think there would be a lot of benefits because you don't have to wait because you're ready right after you graduate from your high school. So because you engage earlier, there will be stronger academic preparations to be achieved if you're doing this way. In terms of the time, it's safer. But the way we say safer is actually how this kind of study route going to be successful for you. Because for some students will say, oh, if I choose to do this full time, and I must face a lot of pressure from academic and also from life because different culture, different country. So if I do part-time, I'm doing all the preparations in my home country. So I don't need to handle all the pressures at the same time. I will just focus on Chinese language and academic gradually and then moving into another country. So for many students or parents will say, oh, this is a better, safer way for my kids to get ready for studying abroad. Even quicker, I don't need to mention this because you don't need to wait for 1 or 2, half a year's time. You can just go right after you graduated from your high school. And because you are doing this, I think we are allowing students to pay by different installments for the short period of the program. So there would be lower financial threshold. And this is why starting from last year, we started to offer IFP part-time to all students from different countries. We think that's going to be equally important choices for many of the students to choose. So basically, no matter full-time, part-time, I think we are trying to, based on our teaching and communication experiences, we're trying to develop more programs to help our international students succeed. This is the mission of China Campus Network. I'm going to summarize my introduction about CCN now and invite my colleague Anna to introduce more details about the CCN programs, about how long it is and what kind of curriculum courses you are going to study, and what about assessment? Will that be different from your Indonesia high school or your primary education? So this kind of information are also very important to you. But before I hand over, I just want to say I look forward to meeting all of you in China in very soon. But before that, please do stay safe. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, very
So,
good.
hello again. 大家好. My name is Anna Zupan, and I would like to introduce to you a little bit more about our CCN programs. But before I really go into the specifics of our program, I would like to mention to you that CCN really provides to you a one-stop solution. So before, during, and also after your degree studies when you finally are in China. So for before part, we have our foundation courses that already Sabrina as well as President Chen, they both mentioned that they help you fill in this gap, academic gap from when you come from an Indonesian high school or Indonesian bachelor degree and then into a Chinese university. And an important part of this is also, again, that this is actually an academic criteria that is recognized by our universities for also admission and, of course, scholarship. So here I will introduce to you our IFP and our UEA program later on. So for during part, we have our degree programs of our member universities. And then after, this is, I think, as a former international student, I think it's a very important part. We have our Digital China program, which actually helps you to enter your professional degree or your business career later on. So here you will then learn about somehow digital economy, as well as the opportunities that this digitalization brings to you after you finish with your degree. But let's really look at the IFP and UEA program that I mentioned before. So first, I would really like to introduce the IFP program to you. So IFP is based on a model that is called 1-to-N. So what does this mean is actually one student, so you, to many different universities. So it means that you can really enjoy a very wide variety of university choices, but at the same time, you are guaranteed with at least one of our CCN member universities. And of course, if your performance is good during the IFP studies, you will also get a scholarship opportunity, which is, I believe, very important for us as students, that we can have a relaxed study so that we don't really worry about money as well. So the learning outcomes of the foundation courses are really four that I would like to mention here today. The first one is the linguistic confidence. So when you come to China, you, for example, go to the store or you go to the restaurant or you have some business at the bank, you don't really have any problems with communicating. But what is even more important is when you go into the classroom and when you talk with your professors, when you do some sort of projects with your classmates, there is no this language barrier that you have to worry about, because you have the general Chinese knowledge, but you have also learned these specific terms that are used in your degree. Then, of course, another learning outcome is also this academic preparedness. So when you come from a high school in Indonesia, and maybe there are some differences with Chinese students, how they learned mathematics, how they learned physics or chemistry, there is you really learn these gaps and you catch up to them. So there is no these differences. And then also there is cultural adaptability. So this means that you get prepared to live in this culture. There is no differences. I mean, you are prepared for communicating with the professors. You are prepared for communicating with your classmates. And there is no problems when it comes to these things. And the last outcome that I would also like to finish is professional employability. So after you really finish with your degree, you already have developed some links for further personal development. And I would really like to mention here, because I'm one of the examples, because I studied Chinese, then I did my degree here in China, and now I'm really working also in China, in Shanghai. It really helped me that I learned Chinese and that I also have this experience in China of studying, because I feel like it gives me these further advantages. For example, if compared to people that just came to work in China and have never studied in China. So now let's look a little bit more in detail about the curriculum. So for IFP, we really try to make it very specific to you. So there are different classes for you. If you see here, if you are studying an undergraduate degree and if you are studying a postgraduate degree. We also made it very specific to your degree study. So if your degree is in the business stream, or in science stream, or in engineering stream, or in humanities stream, it will always be very specific to your needs. So let's look very much in detail. If you are going to study an undergraduate program in the business stream of degrees, you are going to study, of course, general Chinese, because general Chinese is somehow the basis that we are building on. But then you are also going to study certain terminology of mathematics and of economics and business studies. Beside this, you are also going to study some subjects that will further advance your knowledge that you got during high school. So here we have mathematics and we also have economics and business studies. Now, if we look for science stream, again, we have the same basis. We have general Chinese. Then you will learn about certain terminology in mathematics, physics, and chemistry, and you are going to advance your knowledge in the subjects of mathematics, physics, and chemistry. Then we have also the engineering stream. So we have general Chinese again, and then you will further advance your Chinese with learning certain terms from mathematics and physics. And hello. Oh, okay. You are going to further advance your knowledge in mathematics and physics. Now for humanities stream, we again have general Chinese, and you are going to learn some certain vocabulary of humanities. And postgraduate studies, because postgraduate studies are quite different from a bachelor degree. Here we made a special, very special course on research methodology, because when it comes to studying a postgraduate degree, you are going to have to do a lot of research. You are going to have to write some papers. So this is a very important subject that you should learn when you are preparing to enter a postgraduate degree. So let's now take a look about the academic calendar a little bit. So as mentioned before, we have different routes that are again very specific to your needs. So for example, we have here a route A. This route is very specific for Chinese beginners. So if you have never really learned Chinese before, this is a route that I would suggest for you. And it lasts for 1 whole year. As you can see here, you start in September. So if you're interested, you can actually still join us, because we still didn't start. We will start in 3 weeks time. And then you study for the whole year until July. And then in September next year, in 2023, you are going to enter your degree. So then we have also route B. So route B is targeted at students that are somehow at Chinese HSK level 3 or 4. So this is a shorter program. As you can see, we will start in April, and then you will study until August, until you then enter your degree in September. And then we also have our shortest somehow program, which is route C, which will start in May and is only 3 months. It's targeted at students that already have quite a high level of Chinese. So it's usually HSK 4 or even above. And yeah, as Sabrina also mentioned, we also want to offer students that are still in high school a part-time option for them to study Chinese and also other Chinese for academic courses as well as subject, as I mentioned before, but they don't really have to lose 1 year of their time before they really enter their degree. So if this is the case, you can really choose our part-time option here. And now for the assessment. So our assessment is actually quite comprehensive. So it doesn't just cover the end exam, but we really look also at your attendance here, as you can see, which is 10%. We also count the standard monthly test, which is then 20%. We also look then at midterm and term end exams. And of course, the most important part is the final graduation exam that you take. But of course, it is important that you really work hard during the whole year or during the whole few months, depending on which route you have chosen to be. Because your final admission as well as scholarship, of course, depends on how hard you have worked and how what type of IFP final result you have gotten in the end. So let's see what are the most basic entry requirements. So for the undergraduate study, it is important that you have finished your high school. And then during your high school, you have also studied certain subjects. So here for the business stream, if you would like to apply, it is important that you have studied mathematics. If you would like to study the science stream, it is important that you have studied mathematics, physics, and chemistry. For engineering stream, we have mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And for humanities stream, there is none. And as I mentioned before, like for different routes, there are different requirements for your Chinese level. So for route A, you can be a total beginner. Maybe you have learned a little bit Chinese, but your knowledge really doesn't exceed HSK 2. For route B, we have HSK 3 to 4, and route C is HSK 4 to 6. Now for postgraduate degrees, it's really important that you have finished your bachelor degree. And besides this, your bachelor degree should really be connected to what you would like to study in your master's degree. So for example, if you have studied, let's say, French language as your bachelor degree, it is really hard for you to advance into, for example, computer science and technology, because there is just too much difference and you would really have a lot of problems to catch up when it comes to degree study. So for what is really expected for you to achieve during our IFP courses. So for basic admission into university, into one of our member universities, you should achieve at least 60% on your IFP results. And for scholarship, it should be 75% or above. And for the IFP program, as I mentioned, this is the model of 1 to N. What we really guarantee is that you will be admitted into at least one CCN member university. But here you can actually have two university choices. Let's call them your two dream universities. So for example, let's say that you would really like to go into Xi'an University. So this will be your first choice. And then if you, just in case that you cannot reach these high requirements of Xi'an University, you would have also another choice, which is, for example, Shanghai University. So these are your two choices. But let's say that anything goes wrong during your studies, anything happens that you cannot reach the requirements, we still guarantee you to be accepted at least into one CCN university. So really do your best, really strive to reach your dreams, but we still have that guarantee that you, at the very least, if you pass our IFP course, we will guarantee you that you will have a university. And then also besides the whole admission, we also guarantee you with a scholarship opportunity. So if you are able to reach the required IFP results, as I mentioned, you will also get the scholarship opportunity. But it is not completely connected to the specific university. So if you reach the scholarship requirements, you can definitely get a certain level that we will talk about it now. So we have four different levels of scholarship. We have A1, which is the highest one. It means that you can get 100% of tuition fee covered at one of the top CCN universities. So this means at 985 or 211 universities. Then we have a A2 scholarship, which means that you again get 100% of tuition fee, but at a non-985 or 211 CCN university. And then we have a A3 scholarship, which means 50% of tuition fee or equivalent. And the lowest one is A4, which means below 40%, usually around 20 to 30% of tuition fee covered. And now about our UEA program. So our UEA program is somehow, we could say, our more premium program. And it is, as you can see, the model is 1-to-1. So it means that there is one student that goes to one specific university, one specific major, and we already in the beginning know that if you can reach the specific requirements of the IFP study, you can also get the scholarship that we already promised you in the beginning before you even started with your study. So this is somehow the difference between IFP and UEA. As we saw in the IFP, you had a wide variety of choices, and for UEA, you already know which particular university you will go to in the end, if you, of course, reach the requirements of the IFP study. So our UEA programs actually, they cover a very wide variety of the programs. Here we can see a few clusters of them. So in the business and management cluster, we have very popular degrees like e-commerce and international economics and trade. Then in literature and arts cluster, we have digital media, we have business administration, and for example, also very popular is here Chinese language in the business direction. And then also in the science and engineering cluster, we have big data management and application, we have computer science and technology, very popular two programs, and we have here artificial intelligence. So this, as you can see, are really somehow programs that are sought after. So you will be considered to be a talent that China and also your own country are looking for when we are really entering the workforce. So the entry requirements for UEA, because of course, as I mentioned, it's a little bit, it's our premium program. So the requirements are a little bit higher. Here you can see that for the undergraduate study, it is required of you that you have finished with your high school, but that your GPA is at least 70 or above. The other requirements are basically the same. So of course, it is also required that for different streams, you have studied different subjects during your high school. So for example, as we saw before, for engineering stream, you had to have studied mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And also for the Chinese level, it's again the same. So according to which route you would like to go, you should have the certain Chinese level before that. For the postgraduate study, again, you should have completed your bachelor degree, and your bachelor degree transcript should have at least 70% on your GPA. And as we saw before, your bachelor degree should be connected to your master's degree. Otherwise, it can be very difficult for you to study. So yeah, as we mentioned, for UEA guarantee, so our CCN guarantee, it is a little bit different from the IFP. So for UEA guarantee, it means that before you even enter into our foundation courses, you will already receive a conditional offer letter which will state your final destination university, degree, and also scholarship. Now it really only depends on you that you really do your best and reach these requirements. And here we also see the UEA scholarships. So because it is a premium product, we also here have a higher scholarship degrees. So A1, A2, A3, and A4 are all the same as for IFP that we saw before. But here we also have A01 scholarship, which actually means that you get the full scholarship. So 100% of tuition fee, you also get accommodations. So this means that your dormitory is basically covered. And besides this, you also get a living allowance. So every month or every specific season, you will get a certain amount of money that then you can use for food, for daily supplies and stuff like this. And the A02 scholarship level, so this means that you get the tuition fee, and then you get the accommodation fee or living allowance, so one of these two. And besides this, to make somehow a conclusion, I would also like to mention all of our support services. So besides the IFP and UEA program, what do we offer beside this is really counseling. So maybe if you're not sure which program or university to choose and you would like to get some knowledge, like for example, which university is good for mechanical engineering, or which university can I go to study digital media or something like that, we of course offer you this sort of counseling. Then we help you with the admission into the IFP study centers and also into universities. And of course, now that the good news is out that maybe you can soon return to China or come to China for your studies, we will also help you with the documents for visa application, then also helping you with departure and also arrival when you finally arrive in China, and then also registration at IFP centers. And after you finish with your foundation studies, registration at the your final degree universities. So this is actually everything from my side. I hope that you can really soon come to China and enter our CCN IFP Center, and that we can really help you reach your dreams of entering a Chinese university for your degree study. So thank you so much for your time. I hope that we can continue with our sharing and that you have learned something new today. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Iya, terima kasih kepada Sabrina Lause dan Anna Lause atas presentasi yang telah disampaikan. Oke, sebelum kita ke sesi tanya jawab, kita akan melihat cuplikan testimonial dari murid-murid kita. Ada 2 murid ya. Di hari ini kita akan tampilkan cuplikan testimonial murid kami yang sudah selesai mengikuti program Foundation dari China Campus Network. Yang pertama itu dari Brian Matthew Rustan. Oke, boleh langsung ditampilkan ya, Pak.
Sorry, Busro yang Angelica dulu.
Oke, sorry. Untuk yang cuplikan testimonial yang pertama itu dari Catherine Angelica, intake September 2021 tahun ini. Angelica，
大家好，我叫 Catherine Angelica， 我的中文名字是李希。今年CCN IFP选我为今年的优秀毕业生，让我代表 Indonesia 给你们讲一下，在CCN IFP中学习怎么样。 我说过了，来自印度尼西亚，我的 IFP 中心在西北工业大学，我从 Semak Berbintang毕业是我的高中，你可以自己看看，我的 IFP 毕业成绩都超过了90分，我最后的律期大学是西安交通大学，在那儿会学习应用化学。还有西安交通大学也给我 A02中的奖学金是免学费的奖学金，还有给我生活费Jadi itu adalah beasiswa A02 di mana saya mendapatkan beasiswa penuh dan juga tambahan biaya kehidupan sebesar 1.500 yen per bulan dalam 10 bulan. Jadi itu yang bisa Anda dapatkan kalau peluang yang Anda bisa dapatkan kalau belajar di CCN IFP. Dan itu saya terima dari CCN Jawa Tengah Dash. 还有，然后下面是我自己写的小偶语，你们可以看看，itu kalian bisa lihat, bisa baca sendiri. Itu adalah pesan kecil dari saya bagi kalian. 下一页。CCN 国际语课项目 IFP 的学习中，最有价值的收获是什么？其实我开始的时候，我中文真的不好，一个句话也没听懂，很多次没认识，但是渐渐越来越能听懂老师的讲话，也可以跟同学们用中文说话聊天儿，这是因为每天在CCN IFP 中学习很忙，你们可以看右边的图片，除了周末时间以外，每天都有课，很忙，你们自己可以看。还有不仅如此，甚至能把中文应用于学数学和物理。Selain belajar Mandarin sini di IFP juga bisa belajar matematika dan fisika sesuai jurusan yang Anda ambil. 结果是比起我理想的大学有得到奖学金。你可以看左边的图片，是我们班的一起商量，一起做功课。所以在CCN IFP 中，我觉得我的最价值的收获是我中文比以前进步的很多，有很大的进步。CCN 国际语课项目 IFP 有这样的特点和优势。第一个是 CCN 从来跟很多中国知名大学有合作的关系，所以很帮助学生们理想的大学。Ya, karena CCN IFP memiliki hubungan yang baik dengan berbagai macam universitas di Cina, jadi sangat membantu kita untuk masuk universitas ideal kita yang kita inginkan. Dan juga bisa mendapatkan beasiswa seperti saya. 你们可以自己看，左边的图片是我通知理期大学。Itu di foto bagian kiri itu adalah pengumuman saya pertama kali keterima di西安交通大学。还有第二个，不仅学汉语，而且学你们选择专业的汉语，另外也能丰富你们高中时候学过的课程。例如，因为我是理工班的学生，要上数学课和物理课，但是如果你们是商业班的学生，要上经济，还有什么的相关你们专业相关的课程。Jadi di CCN IFP itu spesialnya adalah selain kita bisa belajar Mandarin, kita juga bisa belajar sesuai dengan jurusan kalian masing-masing. Kalau bagi saya belajar matematika dan fisika dalam bahasa Mandarin, jadi diajarkan seperti itu. 你们可以自己看这2个右边的图片，是我们校例子。foto paling kanan itu adalah contoh kecil dari buku apa yang saya pelajari dulu matematika dan fisika di CCN IP. 下一页。CCN 国际艺课项目 IFP 的学习中，我印象最深刻经历的体验是什么？第一个体验是老师，有一天老师让我们班分成几个小组，做一篇文章。我跟别国的同学们可以用中文交流我们自己的想法。在做上边的图片是我们 chat 里面itu adalah foto pas kita membahas tentang kerja kelompok kita untuk membuat suatu karya masing-masing. Dan di bagian kanannya itu adalah hasilnya. 它的右边是我们最后结果的文章。还有第二个是老师们常常告诉我们中国的历史文化目前的情况，还有在中国日常生活，而且班上互相交流各国的文化、民俗、特产等等。最后我们最深刻的体验是我参加过一次的 NPU 的春节活动，在这里可以知道学习怎么制作红包、对联还有跟老师们和同学们一起玩一些游戏。你们可以看这3个下面的图片，是我新做的东西，是对联、红包和折纸等等。下一页。因你原来的中学同学没有选择出国留学的，想必你获得了哪些收获？我在印度尼西亚学校学习比在中国学校一定有区别。Pasti ada perbedaan di antara saya belajar Indonesia dan saya belajar di organisasi Cina atau di Cina。中学的时候，每天都跟朋友们说话，说我们母语。我朋友们都也是印尼人，但是在中国学校，即使不太习惯说中文，一定要用中文跟老师们和同学们说话。而且我同学们也来自各种各样的国家，所以可以用中文跟各国同学们交流，也是我最深刻的体验。Spesialnya dari belajar di Cina dengan bedanya dengan belajar Indonesia adalah tiap hari di Indonesia kita teman-teman yang kita lihat adalah semua orang yang berasal dari negara yang sama, dan kita juga setiap hari ngomong bahasa Indonesia. Berbedanya dengan kita belajar di Cina adalah kita bisa bertemu dengan banyak teman dari negara lain, dan kita bisa berbicara dengan bahasa Mandarin dengan teman-teman itu. Jadi contohnya saya punya banyak teman Rusia, teman dari Meksiko, teman dari Thailand, dan lain-lain. 还有我也觉得中国的数学和物理比我国家的更高级，有些我没学过的内容，所以我能丰富我学过的知识。Ya, itu betul. Jadi di Cina, menurut saya pribadi, matematika dan fisika setidaknya lebih advance, lebih tinggi jajarannya daripada kita di sini. Ada yang sama, ada yang masuk dari kita pelajari di SMA, tapi ada beberapa hal juga yang kita belum pelajari. Jadi di season IP ini kita bisa belajar hal-hal baru yang mereka pelajari di Cina, matematika Cina dan fisika Cina. 还有最后 其实我以前也在印度尼西亚大学学过1年，所以以上这些是我一留在ini sangat penting sekali sebenarnya. Saya dulu menyimpan catatan-catatan lama saya pas SMA, terutama matematika dan fisika, untuk membantu saya belajar sama di CCN IFP ini. Karena sebenarnya inti dari pembelajaran di materi-materi itu semuanya sama, tetapi hanya beda bahasa saja. Jadi sangat membantu jika kalian menyimpan catatan-catatan lama Anda. 还有第5个，上课时候一定要好好听老师的讲话，能截屏老师写的解释。这2个下面的图片是我给你们小例子，是我
Mohon maaf
以前老
sebelumnya ya,
师
mungkin
解释的
ada sedikit
截屏。
masalah teknis, mohon ditunggu
Lalu
sebentar
terakhir,
ya.
2 foto paling bawah, itu adalah screenshot saya dari penjelasan dari guru saya yang dulu. Jadi bisa sering-sering screenshot, itu sangat membantu. 结束了，我讲好就到这里，谢谢大家听我说话了。最后，欢迎你们在线 IP 来学习，我希望你们都有顺利有好的学习过程，谢谢大家。
Halo semuanya, perkenalkan nama saya Brian dari Jakarta. Saat ini umur 19 tahun. Saya adalah salah satu lulusan program IFP dari Sianshio University. Pada kesempatan ini, saya akan membagikan pengalaman saya selama 1 tahun belajar di sana. IFP sendiri adalah program pembelajaran yang disediakan oleh China Campus Network. Program ini disediakan bagi murid-murid internasional yang mau belajar di China. Ini adalah profil singkat saya. Saya sendiri adalah lulusan SMA Pelangi Kasih angkatan 2021. Saya mulai belajar program IFP di bulan Oktober 2021 dan menyelesaikannya di bulan Juli 2022. Setelah menyelesaikan pembelajaran di program ini, saya diterima di University of International Business and Economics dan akan melanjutkan kuliah saya di sana pada September mendatang. Jurusan yang saya ambil di sana adalah finance. Dengan bimbingan dan bantuan guru-guru di Sianshio University bagian China Campus Network, saya berhasil menyelesaikan program pembelajaran IFP dengan nilai rata-rata yang tinggi. Oleh karena itu, saya diterima di 2 universitas tempat saya daftar sebelumnya, yaitu di Xi'an Chiaotong University dan di University of International Business and Economics. Saya juga menerima beasiswa sebesar 100% di tahun pertama. Setelah menyelesaikan program ini, kemampuan bahasa Mandarin saya juga banyak meningkat, baik di speaking, listening, dan reading. Saya juga mendapatkan kesempatan untuk belajar matematika dan ekonomi dalam bahasa Chinese di program ini. Menurut saya, keunggulan terbesar dari program IFP adalah pilihan-pilihan universitasnya setelah menyelesaikan pembelajaran di sini. Karena China Campus Network bekerja sama dengan banyak universitas dan sangat diakui oleh universitas-universitas terkenal di China. Berikut ini adalah beberapa contoh universitas terkenal di China yang bisa kalian apply setelah lulus program IFP. Ada Fudan University, Shanghai Jiaotong University, Zhejiang University, dan lain-lain. Oleh karena itu, setelah berhasil menyelesaikan studi di IFP, kalian bisa mendapatkan penerimaan universitas yang ideal. Jika nilainya cukup bagus, kalian juga bisa mendapatkan beasiswa. Di program ini, kalian juga akan mendapatkan pelajaran matematika dan bisnis ekonomi dalam bahasa Chinese. Kalau yang ekonomi itu tergantung jurusan kalian. Selain ekonomi, ada hubungan internasional dan fisika. Dengan adanya mata pelajaran ini, kalian jadi jauh lebih mudah untuk beradaptasi saat kuliah di universitas dengan pengantar bahasa Chinese nanti. Menurut saya, pengalaman yang paling berkesan selama belajar di sini adalah pelajarannya yang intensif. Program IFP sendiri memiliki sekitar 30 jam kelas per minggunya. Setiap harinya, kita dilatih untuk mendengar dan berkomunikasi menggunakan bahasa Chinese dengan guru-guru dan teman-teman di sana. Untuk mempertahankan nilai yang baik, saya terpaksa harus belajar lebih keras dan mencoba mengatur waktu lebih baik lagi. Pada akhirnya, saya secara bertahap dapat beradaptasi dengan intensitas belajar di program ini. Hal inilah yang membuat level Chinese saya meningkat dengan cepat. Sebelum ikut program ini, saya sendiri juga merasa agak takut karena mendengar teman-teman saya yang kuliah di China pada kesusahan karena mereka belum terbiasa dengan matematika Chinese dan kosakata ekonomi Chinese. Untungnya, program ini mencangkup pelajaran matematika dan ekonomi dalam bahasa Chinese. Karena telah mempelajari sebagiannya di program ini, saya menjadi tidak terlalu khawatir dengan pelajaran di kuliah nanti. Ini adalah beberapa tips dari saya supaya bisa mendapatkan nilai yang baik di program IFP ini. Saya sendiri sangat terbantu dengan poin nomor 1 dan nomor 2. Mereview pelajaran sangat membantu saya mengingat apa yang sudah diajarkan. Di saat yang sama, melihat-lihat unit pelajaran baru juga membantu saya mendapatkan gambaran besar tentang unit tersebut. Sehingga ketika gurunya sedang mengajarkan, saya menjadi lebih mudah mengerti apa yang sedang diajarkan. Ini semua adalah pengalaman saya belajar di program IFP. Sekian dari saya, semoga dapat membantu.